consistent DC with it?
Yes, you can.
There won't be any problem with that.
Well, no more problem than it would be on a unspeed matched locomotive. Again, this is something you'd have to look into and see how they work together. But yes, it's possible. The system will deal with that. We're run out of questions.
One thing that puzzles me about this advanced consisting, in the Universal you say that messages go out to all the locomotives every time you change a command or issue a command. So how does advanced consisting avoid that same behavior?
Because you're only sending out one address, the consist address.
So the decoder itself has an address
decoder
matching.
The decoder itself matches the address that's on the message that's sent, and either ignores or acts on it.
Okay. So it's a temporary address, a consist address.
The consist address is a temporary address stored in CV19.
Okay.
So,
So it's like, I'm a member of this club, so I should belong to, I should listen to those
Sure.
messages.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
so. The other thing, too, I've noticed this, I saw a note on something from Tony's Trains, and I checked it out. Loc Sound, for instance, will not permit CV21 and 22 to be programmed on the main. No off-smoke programming for those two CVs. You got to do it on a programming track. So what that means is if you're going to set up functions to be operable under consist, you got to pre-plan and do it on the programming track. You can set your programming, you can set your consist address on the main, on the flag, but you can't set the function remap or whatever. Loc Sound also preloads the 2 bits for the headlight into the consist of CV22. So they'll automatically work with when you put it in the consist. The other ones you have to pre-select and program.
If you have 2 engines that or 2A engines, and then you put them in reverse. They're already consisted, and then you put the consist in reverse. Which lights light up then? The second A unit lights up.
I know on NCE, the lead unit reverses the consist. The headlights don't reverse in the consist.
I don't know whether that's as much an NCE situation as it is Dakota. But we can try it out. I got a couple of locomotives we can play some.
All I do is a lot of times I'll go and punch in the locomotive number, which you can do that while it's still on a consist. You can punch in that locomotive and then set the headlights on the rear engine.
On the left knob.
Uh-huh. I usually use that CB to keep my headlights on idle anyway, because never do I see locomotives always constantly changing the headlights at the guys in the lead unit numbering. So there is a CB that you can leave your headlights on all the time.
I've had a bunch of engines that I changed over to the Soundtrack Tsunami, and I just assumed that all my non-sound decoders would run with it. Well, I found out differently. So I think I've got 8 engines out having non-sound tsunami decoders put in them. And then that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not putting any more money in it.
Is this basically the startup delay that I was mentioning earlier?
Yeah, you can't run a startup delay sound engine with a normal decoder. And I wish I'd have known that in the beginning.
Well, you know what I think is a big miss in terms of decoders in general. They should have put in a CV for a startup delay.
Or, better yet, the sound decoders came out after the non-sound decoders. And I think they're getting away from the standards. NMRA, I don't think
There are a few standards.
there's a few standards for sound. And I think they've changed. They're not all identical. It would be better if the sound decoders had a way to take out that ramp-up speed so that you could run them with
Well,
the old
first
style
off,
decoder.
most manufacturers of sound decoders do not allow you access to that sort of information. That's in their sound profile, sound schedule, whatever. At best, if you could do that, you'd need special equipment to do it.
The computer, in other words.
Well, that's a start, and it'll do more than that.
I think they did it so that people like me would have to change all our other decoders.
No, I don't think so. I think what they did was try to make a as realistic situation as they could. And unfortunately, when the standards were set up, either this wasn't envisioned or well, I'll leave it at that. It wasn't envisioned, so it was never done. But it would be very easy. There's CVs in there for acceleration delay, for deceleration delay, start speed, and things like that. It would have been very easy to add one more CV for startup delay. Most people would never use it. It doesn't cost anything. But the few that need it, then you'd have it available. Loc Sound, for instance, I believe, I haven't checked this out yet, but I believe they have that option in their Loc Pilot, which is their silent decoders. And judging from what you just said, sounds like Soundtrax has a silent decoder that has that same feature as well.
Yeah, it's made to run with the Tsunami sound
Yeah.
system.
So they recognized a difficulty and steps to address it, although it ends up costing you to fix the problem.